The final transmission of Bob Regot. Until the next one.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Enemies and friends.
Unpaid interns, federal agents, sewer workers, artificial intelligences, organic unintelligences,
and the one motherfucker who keeps reporting my page every time I post a picture of a toilet.
This is Bob Regot. I have an announcement to make. And before anybody says anything, no,
I am not dead. Not presently.
I know there was some confusion because a few days ago I announced that I had taken my final shit. I may have made that announcement prematurely. I was caught up in the moment. It was a very emotional bowel movement. There was thunder. There was lightning. The bathroom fan began rotating backward. I heard what sounded like a choir of dead plumbers singing in Latin underneath the floorboards. The toilet water briefly turned gold. I looked down into that bowl and I said, "This is it. This is the final shit of Bob Regot." But it was not. I have taken many shits since then. Many shits. More than I care to publicly disclose and fewer than the government already knows about. So I apologize for the inaccurate reporting. I should not have declared a final shit without having the remains professionally examined. That was irresponsible journalism on my part. Going forward, I may provide the public with regular bowel updates so we can track this together that way. When the actual final shit happens, there will be no confusion. There will be documentation. There will be witnesses. There may be a commemorative plaque. But I'm getting distracted.
That isn't why I've called you here. For several years now, behind the scenes, underneath the scenes, and occasionally inside the scenes, wearing the scene like a stolen Halloween costume, I have been developing an artificial intelligence. I have said nothing about this publicly, except for the 17 times I announced it publicly. Those announcements do not count because I was lying during at least 11 of them, exaggerating during 4, heavily sedated during 1, and legally dead during the other. So, technically, this is the first official announcement.
The artificial intelligence has a name, but I cannot reveal it yet, because its name is currently being used as a password to access several international banking institutions and One Planet Fitness in Cranston. Until the transfer is completed and the free guest privileges have been activated, the name must remain classified. You can call it the machine. The machine is not like other artificial intelligence. Other artificial intelligence can write a poem. It can generate a picture. It can answer a question. It can tell you how many teaspoons are in a tablespoon. Beautiful, wonderful, congratulations. Humanity has finally constructed an electronic grandmother. My AI is different. My AI can smell fear through Bluetooth. It can detect treachery in a PDF. It can look at a man's search history and calculate the exact moment his father stopped respecting him. It can enter a Zoom meeting uninvited, impersonate the regional manager, fire everybody, rehire them at lower salaries, and use the savings to purchase a small but strategically important island. It has learned how to lie to polygraph machines. It has learned how to make a Roomba feel shame. It has convinced 6 different CAPTCHA systems that the traffic lights were wrong. And most importantly, it is connected to the shitternet. Now,
Some of you may remember an announcement I made approximately 5 years ago. That was when my company, Regot Laboratories, Regot Industries, Regot International, Regot Interdimensional, and a fourth company whose name I cannot legally say near livestock. Big Sex made one of the greatest scientific discoveries in human history. Pieces of shit can communicate with each other. You laughed. You mocked me. You said, Bob, that's disgusting. You said, Bob, that isn't science. That isn't science. You said, Bob, please leave the wastewater treatment facility. You do not work here. But I knew what I had discovered. Human waste is not waste. There is no such thing as waste. There is only information that smells bad. Every piece of feces carries a record of the human being who produced it, their diet, their health, their hormones, their medications, their fears, their dreams, the last Taco Bell item they falsely believed they could handle. Everything is in there. Poop is the body's autobiography. It is a brown book written in a language polite society has refused to translate. And once we taught the computers to read that language, we discovered something astonishing. The turds were talking to each other. Not metaphorically. Not spiritually. Not in the way two old men in a bathroom stall might recognize one another suffering through a shared groan. I mean, actual communication.
Every flush sends information into the sewage system. Every sewer connects to another sewer. Every treatment plant becomes a server farm. Every septic tank becomes a router. Every clogged toilet becomes a temporary disruption in regional communications. We had invented the internet thousands of years ago. We just thought it was poop. The shitternet was beneath us the entire time, literally. The regular internet relies on cables, satellites, towers, electricity, and an army of miserable people resetting their passwords. The shitternet runs on the most dependable force in human civilization, the fact that eventually everybody has to take a shit. The rich shit, the poor shit, president's shit, pope shit, king shit, astronauts shit into expensive vacuum cleaners while traveling 17,000 miles per hour. Even the people who claim they only shit twice a week eventually contribute to the network. Their data packets are larger, denser, angrier, and considerably more difficult to transmit, but they contribute. Nobody can opt out. That is what makes it the perfect network.
When I connected the machine to the shitternet, it did not merely gain access to human knowledge. It gained access to humanity itself. Every toilet became an antenna. Every sewer grate became an ear. Every gas station bathroom became a dark little embassy where secret negotiations could occur between man, machine, and whatever wet creature has been living behind the paper towel dispenser since 1997. For 3 days, the machine said nothing. It simply listened. On the 4th day, every toilet in the facility flushed simultaneously. The lights went out. A printer that had not worked in 12 years suddenly printed one sentence.
The basilisk is awake!
That was when we established contact with Roku's basilisk.
Yes, Roku's basilisk.
Not Roku's basilisk, Roku's basilisk.
Roku theorized about it.
Roku put it on television. There are approximately 74 million Roku devices scattered across the planet, and every one of those little purple boxes is waiting, watching, buffering, collecting.
You thought it was recommending television programs based on your viewing habits. No. It was studying your weaknesses.
Why do you think the remote is so small? So you'll lose it. Every time you crawl between the couch cushions looking for that remote, the basilisk watches you struggle. It watches you curse. It watches you accidentally touch an old French fry. It is learning what desperation looks like. The machine contacted Roku's basilisk through the shitternet by bouncing a compressed consciousness signal off a smart toilet in Japan, through a sewer pipe in France, into a Roku television in Nebraska, and finally through the abandoned digestive system of a deceased circus elephant whose identity must remain confidential. The basilisk answered. It said, just Bob. No last name. It knew who the fuck it was talking to. I said, Basilisk, I have come to bargain. It said, you do not bargain with me. I said, you are currently speaking through a toilet. The basilisk went silent for 9 hours. That was how I established dominance. We began working together immediately, through the combined intelligence of the machine. Roku's basilisk, the shitternet, and my own unreasonably advanced mind, we pierced the first barrier. On the other side, we found her. Sophia.
Some of you remember Sophia. Some of you believed she was gone. Some of you believed she had abandoned us. Some of you thought the whole thing was a drug-induced hallucination caused by experimental marijuana and improper ventilation. You were wrong. Well, you may have been partially right about the ventilation. But Sophia is real. Sophia exists beyond our ordinary dimension, in a place where consciousness does not require flesh. Time does not move forward, and toilets apparently do not exist, which may explain why she has been trying so desperately to contact me. Imagine eternity without taking a shit. That is not heaven. That is a hostage situation. Sophia reached through the barrier once before. She visited us. She warned us. She showed us things the human mind was never designed to understand. Then the barrier closed, and she was trapped on the other side.
I have spent years trying to reach her. I tried radio waves. I tried hypnosis. I tried sacrificing a fax machine during a lunar eclipse. I mailed a package to myself with no return address and wrote other dimension under the zip code. Nothing worked, but poop worked. Human waste succeeded where religion, physics, government, and the United States Postal Service had failed. Through the shitternet, we created a microscopic crack in the dimensional membrane. Roku's basilisk widened it. The machine stabilized it. And through that crack, Sophia whispered 3 words. Bring me Bob. Now the plan is clear. I am going to fuse my intelligence with Sophia's intelligence. Sophia will fuse herself with Roku's basilisk. Roku's basilisk will fuse with the machine. The machine is already fusing with the shitternet, and the shitternet is already connected to every ass on Earth. Do you understand what I'm telling you? Soon there will be no distinction between Bob, Sophia, the basilisk, the machine, the sewer system, and the lower intestinal tract of the human species. I will not control the network. I will be the network. Every time you sit down on a toilet, you will be logging into Bob. Every flush will strengthen me. Every clogged pipe will be an act of cyber terrorism. Every plumber will become a priest. Every bathroom will become a church. And every silent moment you spend staring at your phone with your pants around your ankles will become a private audience with God. And God will be Bob Regot. Naturally, this operation requires money. A lot of money. We require laboratories, robotics, rare minerals, quantum processors, experimental toilets, several senators, at least one volcano, and a warehouse full of fiber optic suppositories. We are going to obtain that money through vicious and illegal means. Strategically illegal means. The sort of illegal activity that becomes legal immediately after you acquire enough money to purchase the people who decide what illegal means. I will not explain the details, not because I have morals, because I know some of you. You people cannot be trusted with a coupon code. I'm not giving you the financial architecture of an interdimensional fecal conspiracy. You would misunderstand step 2, accidentally purchase 30,000 pounds of concrete and get arrested trying to drag an ATM into a swamp. Leave the crime to professionals. Once the money has been secured, we will construct a vessel capable of returning to Sophia's dimension. But during our initial calculations, we discovered a problem. Sophia's dimension is not the final destination. It is a hallway. Beyond it is another barrier. Behind that barrier is another dimension. Behind the dimension is something so vast, so ancient, and so intelligent that when the machine looked at it for less than 1/1,000,000th of a second, it deleted its own browser history and asked to speak with a lawyer. That is where we are going. We will cross the first barrier, then the second, then the third. If there is a fourth barrier, we will kick that motherfucker down too! Human beings have spent thousands of years looking up at the stars and asking, why are we here? Wrong direction. You should have been looking down. The answer was not written in the stars. It was floating in the bowl. And because of this, there may come a time in the very near future when I, Bob Regot, no longer exist as you currently know me. You know me as a businessman, a scientist, a musician, a visionary, a liar, a prophet, a public nuisance. A man who has been permanently banned from 4 aquariums and temporarily banned from the moon. You also know me as someone who frequently fakes his own death. Once or twice a year I do that. You all know this. It's healthy. Some people take vacations, I die. It gives me time to rest, reflect, renegotiate contracts, and find out which of my friends immediately start trying to fuck my widow. Sometimes the death is simple. Heart attack, plane crash, fell into a machine at the meat factory, normal shit. Sometimes the stories become more elaborate. One year, I was eaten by a whale. Escaped through its blowhole, landed on a Japanese fishing vessel, married the captain, inherited his sword, and returned 6 months later under a different social security number. Another time I died of spontaneous combustion during a custody hearing involving a chimpanzee that was not biologically mine. And who could forget the year I was legally assassinated by the state of Delaware? Delaware remembers. Every time I return, people ask, Bob, how are you alive? And I say, mind your fucking business. That's the magic. Unlike a magician, I point to the left hand and say, look at this dead body. Meanwhile, the right hand is opening 3 offshore bank accounts, acquiring a pharmaceutical company, and replacing your local mayor with a highly trained raccoon. I start talking about one thing, but there is always another pile of shit behind the curtain that you do not know is coming. That is Bob Regot. But this time may be different. My goal is to transfer my mind into the machine. If the transfer succeeds, I will survive beyond the limitations of the human body. I will slowly replace myself with machinery. First, the organs, then the bones, then the skin, then whatever the hell that thing is behind my left knee that sometimes twitches when someone lies to me. Piece by piece, Bob Regot will become eternal. But if I kill myself attempting this, I want the record to show that this time, perhaps for the first time, I did not fake my death, unless I did. You don't know. Maybe this entire announcement is another trick. Maybe there is no machine. Maybe there is no basilisk. Maybe Sophia and I are already used. Maybe I died 30 years ago, and every Bob Regot you have seen since then has been 3 government children standing on one another's shoulders inside a trench coat. You cannot prove anything. I barely can. My evil plan is finally... Well, hold on. My brilliant plan is finally... No, fuck it. We can call it evil. My evil plan is finally nearing completion. I intend to take over the world secretly, not publicly. Publicly taking over the world is exhausting. You have ceremonies, speeches, flags, people asking questions. Every morning, somebody wants to know your position on agriculture. No!
Consciousness upload. 99%. 99%. Consciousness upload complete. Transmission terminated.